Welcome back, everybody, to Just a Bit. It is your host, Tyler Powell, and today we are welcoming in two new guests who I will be speaking with today, Mr. Eric Carmichael and Brandon. How are y'all doing today?
Good, sir. How you feeling?
Good.
Thriving, man. Thriving, thriving. For those of you who don't know, both are members of the e-board for Black and Tech Atlanta. Just a little bit about him. Eric is an IT project manager for the city of Atlanta and the head of Think Photography. So he does a lot of our media for us. So if you see any pretty pictures of us at events, it was probably Eric. And Brandon Courtney, an IT director for the city of Atlanta, and both happen to manage our technology and innovation department for Black and Tech. So yeah, welcome in, guys. We got some good topics to talk about today. Uh, y'all ready to get into it?
Oh yeah,
So let's
excited to
do
be
it.
here.
For sure, for sure, for sure. So we're gonna be going into a little bit about your career journeys before we dive into our later discussions. But starting with Brandon, could you tell me a little bit about what got you into tech and what your current role looks like?
Yeah. Overall, I've been in tech for about 18 years. Very much so early at a very early stage, was infatuated with tech and computers, how it works, and the whole internet within itself. First job out of the gate, which was actually in high school, was with the service desk of my school district back in South Carolina. Um, I fell in love beginning with tech, and that whole experience just wanted me to do more. Graduated high school, moved into college. I went to University of South Carolina, go Gamecocks, where I got my bachelor's degree in integrated IT. So think information technology as it applies to hardware, software, but of
Right.
course the business aspects, making money. How can you make money with the use and implementation of these tools? Went through a consulting period at IBM for about 8 years. Lived in New York, lived in Chicago, moved down to Atlanta. You know how people's journeys goes in tech. They get reduction in
All
workforces.
over the place.
Yeah, so I was let go. I always say I was fired, and it makes me feel so much accomplished. I was fired from IBM. And was the best thing of my life. I took a year off just to kind of relax, clear my mind, and decided, hey, I want to get into the public service. So I applied for the city of Atlanta, started off as a systems analyst at the airport, busiest airport in the world, which looks phenomenal on the resume, does it not? So Eric, you have the opportunity right now to expand from there. But what I do now is I'm an IT director for the service delivery when it comes to the city of Atlanta. So that is essentially our help desk and service desk. So if you have a problem with your computer, you call and make a ticket type of thing, and then also our inventory for the city. So I'm in charge of all of that and just trying to make sure that our technology supports Atlanta becoming a top five tech hub,
For
which is
sure.
a mission I'm completely adapted to. And again, with Blacks in Technology, stopping the divide, I believe I have a lot of progress to actually impress upon when it comes to community engagement, and of course, the city of Atlanta by itself.
For sure. And for our students, how exactly did you go about getting your securing your first role? You say you started in an IT help desk. We have a lot of cybersecurity students that are like trying to, figure out how to get their foot in the door, but they're struggling with getting that first experience. You need experience to get experience, that kind of balance. So how did you
Right,
get your
right.
door with that in the first place?
I would say the help desk is always classified as the IT entry role.
Mhm.
However, that's your launching point to kind of experimenting what's going on. In the help desk, you understand what people are dealing with when it comes to tech, whether it's an application, whether it's hardware issues, whether it's an issue with the internet. You never really understand the breadth of what people do beyond a help desk unless you actually understand what the help desk actually deals with. And that's navigating day to day and understanding the small interactions, how they relate to a bigger picture. Help desk is always a launching pad. Internships, the city of Atlanta is gearing up for our internship period this summer. So definitely follow us on LinkedIn and as well as our Instagram channel, City of Atlanta, to be aware of those internship opportunities. But also just being engaged in the community. You never know who may have a question for you about tech and then may can lead you into a right direction and actually know a little bit more than you and can actually again leads you in the direction of something you may have never thought of.
Right on. And Eric, take it away.
What's going on, everyone? So me, I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So you know how I'm feeling about the Super Bowl coming up this weekend. You're gonna get that dub for sure. But I started off with an engineering background. So I went to high school in Abington, Pennsylvania, which is a little bit outside of Philadelphia, and I actually went to college at North Carolina A&T State University, Aggie
Yeah.
Pride, where I
Yeah.
studied industrial systems engineering. Had internships with Land O'Lakes, Department of Defense. Even within the college university itself, doing some research with biometrics. So most of my experience before I actually got into the real world was more so with improving processes and systems, more so with continuous improvement. I know everyone probably heard of Lean Six Sigma and risk management, so that's really the areas where I really had a focal point in. So after graduating, I took a job in North Carolina with a company called Mountaire Farms. This is a poultry um, company. And I did a little bit of a process improvement with the way they had their grain facilities and a couple of supply chain processes where they had some inefficiencies with their the feed that they were giving the animals. It was, the feed was breaking up inside of the trucks before they reached the farm. So, by the time the animals got the feed, they weren't really getting the nutrients and producing what we needed them to produce. So just doing things with just seeing where there were some inefficiencies in certain processes and just implementing systems that kind of kept that improvement going on. Um, then I decided to come down to Atlanta with Marietta at the time and work with a company called Vanderland, where I did some agile project management. This was basically a company that had three different sectors. They had warehouse, parcel, and also airport. So I was on the warehousing team dealing with companies with like Amazon, Dollar Tree, Sherman Williams, um, anybody that had a e-commerce footprint that needed warehousing automation. So just dealing with certain implementing automation into those warehouses, robotics, dealing with the code to make sure that those robotics are actually performing it the way they should be. And this was more so where I kind of transitioned into somewhat of IT. It wasn't really an IT role, but I had some exposure to certain IT processes, getting certifications in like Scrum, Safe Scrum, and also some Microsoft certifications as well, which then helped me get a job where I currently am now, City of Atlanta, as an IT project manager. And the projects that I manage vary from cybersecurity projects, making sure that everyone that's supposed to be on the network is actually on the network, and if they're not a DOA person, that they don't have access to it. Upgrading the infrastructure throughout the airport, whether that's hardware or software, making sure that we are FAA compliant and compliant with the current security measures that need to be in place. Um, Also from even just managing, making sure that our infrastructure is being monitored correctly, and kind of coming from a reactive point of view to more of a proactive point of view. So we know what's going on before our customers do and making sure that we kind of resolve what we can before then. So I kind of been a little bit everywhere, but for the most part, I started off in engineering, still apply my ISC background to what I do now, but in IT right now and kind of having fun with it.
For sure, for sure. And I'm hearing that at least for you, the experience definitely came first, right? In my career pathway, I know I started off like before I could even get in or talk about getting an internship, I started with certifications where I was like, I wasn't able to talk in interviews. So I said, yeah, I can code, but I also can prove that I got an R certification before I got my first internship. I finished the Google Data Analyst certification before I got my first internship. So, in your opinion, which one comes first? Is it the experience or is it the certifications now for people?
Uh, for right now, it's kind of if we're talking about right now, I think it's kind of hard to just tell someone to get some experience because of the labor market and just because of how certain companies are structured right now. So I
Right.
would say is if you can't get the experience, definitely uh, go towards those certifications. Bit, they offer a lot of free certifications. I got a couple of my certifications for free with Bit. The AI
I have
engineer,
to.
yeah, the AI engineer, the security compliance one. So I got those certifications, and then after I got those certifications, I then joined hackathons with Microsoft, where I can actually build something and show what I learned through those certifications, and put it in a real life scenario. Like for example, for the AI certification I have, I helped develop an application that uses the AI resources through Azure. So it has text to translate, the chatbot, it has the understanding. You can upload a video, and then AI will just tell you what is in that video, give you a synopsis of that. So things
Wow.
like that, I think that's a pretty cool way of showcasing what you learn and that you can actually do what you say you can.
For sure, for sure. And speaking of like resources that Bit has provided, what would both of you say is the main resource that you've like gotten from Black in Tech? We provide a lot of resources to people, but a lot of people don't necessarily take advantage. Like I know for me, another thing that I had heard that was a little more impressive about my resume when I was talking to employers was that I was Scrum certified coming in. Especially, talking from the standpoint of somebody who's like, I really am interested in product management, having a solid, foundational understanding of agile principles and what Scrum is coming in, made me stand out from my candidates. And then, in fact, at Johnson and Johnson, they certified us on the job in Scrum, and I was able to say like, nah, I already like I can do it again, but I already got it. You know what I mean? So what would y'all say is the number one resource that you've utilized that was been provided by Bit? You can start, Brandon. Brand.
These are networking events. Everything in life is about the community that you have. Whether you have a job right now and looking for your next opportunity, or you recently lost your job and again looking for your next opportunity, being open to having conversations with people that are in different skill sets. One thing that I love about Blacks in Technology is again we're a worldwide organization. Our annual conference brings in people from that worldwide aspect. And you're looking at corporations, you're looking at networking events, you're looking at, again, opportunities to learn beyond what your current environment may provide. And Blacks in Technology, we're a big community that's focused, again, on the same common goal of providing knowledge, resources in that community for African Americans and technology. Uh, that's one thing that I love, just that community and that it provides. It provides that community.
Yeah,
Eric?
I agree with Brandon. The networking events um, definitely helped out. So, interesting story of how I got introduced to Bit was speaking of think photography and doing the camera work. I showed up to an event that Brandon actually invited me to. It was a Bit event, and at the time I bring my camera with me everywhere, so I had my camera with me, and the actual photographer that was supposed to be there couldn't show up or didn't make it, but I was there and I had my camera with me, so I started doing my thing, and then as I built connections there, I kind of grown to just grow a bit and just be embedded into what we do and helping out with the initiative and the mission. So I definitely would say the networking events are definitely integral to make sure that you attend, but also taking advantage of those free certifications that they give out as well, because you can never have too many sources of knowledge and building that experience yourself.
It's
This is another thing
interesting.
that Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was
You
just
got
going
it.
to add a lot of our population is actually a lot of our bit population is our entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
So actually, just again coming out to those events, you're learning the opportunities and again networking with people that may have an opportunity that they may have open for you now and maybe down the future. You never know what the doors may have.
For
Doors
sure.
may
I
open.
mean, my you good?
Yes.
All right, but yeah, so I mean like even I know my network has been exponentially expanded by being in bed. Even just like it's opened so many doors for me that I didn't even know were possible. Like literally in a
Crazy.
couple weeks we're going to the Visa headquarters. I have people that I've seen at not only just like bit conferences but all over like Bit has founded a community of individuals that are genuinely dedicated to improving themselves. So you might see them at a Bit event, but if you're actually out actively searching for a role or trying to network with people, you're going to continuously see those people over and over and over again. And especially as somebody like me, heavily like active inside of the tech community in Atlanta. I go to a Black in Tech event, I'm going to see that exact same person at the Nesby event. I'm going to see that exact same person at an emerging event over the weekend, So I feel like we've gathered a very, wide breadth of people that are genuinely dedicated to improving themselves.
Yes.
But speaking of like Black and Tech as a whole, right? We're saying that networking is at least in our opinions the biggest, you know, advantage of being a member or participating actively. But there are other organizations as well that you can go and, find a network in it, right? So what niche do you both feel that Black and Tech plays in the city of Atlanta? Like, what do we do that sets us apart from other organizations that might be, somewhat along the same lines?
I would say, and I don't know if mind you, I'm not from Atlanta, but and I don't know if this is just an Atlanta thing or not. But I would say that being in bit, the networking events that you go to, they are informative, and they're great to go to for meeting people and getting that knowledge and experience and just get in front of those recruiters and everything. But on the same token, that like those events, you could actually get lit at those events. I know it was one event you was at the Sweet Lounge. You might be at Cascade, or you might you might just network at a in the like you is the way that the bit networks is not just limited to just being inside of a hotel ballroom. You can network at a lounge, you can network at a rolling skate ring, you can network at a club, you can network at the park. We in any environment, I think everything meshes well, and then the people that come out, they mesh well as well. So it's just a good vibe overall. So I think that's something that makes it a little bit more intriguing to kind of be a part of it, and also encourage other people to come out to these events, because you're gonna have fun. You're not just gonna sit somewhere and just be lectured.
For sure.
And just to tag on to exactly what Eric said, we're a community that's focused on a common goal. We're the motto of BIT is stopping the divide. So when it comes to technical skill sets, knowledge enablement, knowledge opportunities, jobs, being a part of BIT allows you to have that channel of communication. We have weekly newsletters, we have our networking events in person, and a lot of other events. But again, just showing up a lot of times just allows you to set yourself apart.
For sure. And what are like for you, at least for you guys, what's the most like pivotal event that you've been to that we've hosted so far? I know for me, it was definitely the Scrum event. That certification has been crazy for me. Like that entirely derailed my career. Like I had been going down that data and analytics route heavy, heavy, heavy.
Mhm.
The entire time I was like, nah, I don't think this is for me. I don't like being this deep in the roots of, or the weeds with like, this coding and being this technical. I want to show my face and be able to talk to people a lot more. And just getting that certification was like a game changer for me. Even being in the room with other professionals that were also like those, it was all product owners that I could talk to and network with that were able to give me feedback as, like a young person coming out of college about what product management was. It opened up a whole other world for me. So I'm wondering what that event has been for you.
Yeah, I could take it. So I I would say that I'm gonna say I'm gonna say for me, it was that first event we went to where I kind of got exposed to Bit and everybody at Bit. It was at the Thompson Hotel. I forgot what that event, Brandon. You probably I don't know. You remember the name of it or what it was, but it was actually I think it was the first event for Bit Atlanta Throw. The Throw, because I think it's been like a hiatus before
Yeah, it
they
was a
passed it.
kickoff. It was like
It
a
was a
return
kickoff.
from COVID, something
It
like
was
that.
something like
Yeah,
that. It was
yeah.
something like that. But going to that event, I was just there. I didn't know what to expect. I was just there. I brought my camera. I was just coming because Brandon invited me. But the food was good. The drinks was good. We were in front of recruiters. And actually some of the people that I met there from different companies were people that I kind of interact with in terms of like vendors or contractors. So it was kind of cool just seeing people in person, and just seeing just everybody just congregate. It was, a good vibe, good pictures. You got the nice view down there. So I think that event kind of kept me, coming out to these events and then eventually working my way up to be on the board a bit.
For me, it's definitely the annual conference. The year before last, it was in Nashville. That was my first conference actually going to. Phenomenal experience. This
Yep.
year we held it in Atlanta. Again, phenomenal experience. Next year, I'm not sure where the city's going to be, but again, we're a worldwide organization pulling in people to come into our conference. You never know what opportunities may happen.
For sure. And I know a lot of opportunities were found there. I know even for me, like my
Mhm.
full-time offer came from there, and that's
Yeah.
unheard of. You know what I mean? Like, I had previously engaged with the organization, but four of our students that were involved with BID, that came to that conference all walked out with full-time job offers that are, like that's unheard of. So,
Very
uh,
nice.
just an amazing opportunity, honestly. But just to round it out, I wanted to ask you guys, what are some initiatives that you guys are excited for coming up for bid?
I would say, um, I think right now one of the initiatives are trying to bring all of the members together. So we're working out a plan to, you know, to get some data from the members, where they work at, what are their interests, what do they want to see in the newsletters, what type of events they want to go to. I think getting that data and then trying to tailor it to our members to bring everyone together is an initiative that I'm excited for, because we don't really get to see everybody that's a member. I mean, it's like it's over 3,000 members in the Atlanta chapter, but like you said, Tyler, like when you go to these events, you do see other bit members, but I think you see the same bit members, and I think what we're trying to see is just the other, the large crowd that we have that's in the newsletter, and making sure we bring those new faces out to these places and just get everyone exposed to IT and bridging the gap between IT and people and not in IT, because you don't have to be in IT to be in bit, but the fact that you're a member, I think you should take advantage of the networking events and everything that we're doing to try to bring everybody together.
For sure.
Right. And I'm looking forward to the summer. Summer in Atlanta is always a phenomenal experience, at least it is for me. So the events that we're planning for this summer are going to be phenomenal as well. So stay tuned. If you're not a member or if you're interested in becoming a member, check us out. Definitely join our newsletter. That's where we send out all of our notifications about what's happening on during our weekly activities. And again, it's not only just BIT, it's all Atlanta wide as far as some of our events and activities that have been included in our newsletter. And again, you'll be a part of the community. Next time we throw our next event was actually, I believe, next week with we're partnering with Visa. It's a little too late to get added to the list for that, but to be in the know about that, join our newsletter, follow us individually on LinkedIn, or follow us on Instagram.
For sure. And I know, as the partnership director, I'm very, very excited for more partnerships that we have coming up. I know, like, with my interest in product management, I know I've gotten a lot of interest, especially from students. I'm also on the college's committee for partnerships.
Mhm.
So I've been polling students and seeing what they want. And all I hear is we want experience. We want to be able to walk inside of a room and network with some people that may be able to get us some experience, and we want a job.
Right.
So I've been trying to figure out ways that we can combine those initiatives together to get our students and professionals some experience. So literally earlier, me and Brandon were talking about this, but opportunity for collaborating for our product management workshop, partnering with some of our sponsors to make that happen, to be able to get people comfortable with case studies and things of that nature. So I'm really excited for those opportunities that we can bring up and bring back these Scrum certifications. I want to see more people get those because, like I said, that was pivotal for my career and development. But yeah, so firing away just a couple light ones before we head out. What is y'all's favorite tech application right now?
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's on chat
Yeah.
right now. We not feeling DeepSeek yet?
Man,
DeepSeek is cheaper.
but hey, you hear the Senate trying to put something in place now. If you use Deep Seek, you're gonna face some jail time or something, I think.
Man, they ain't gonna send me to jail for using
Oh
DeepSeek,
no,
man.
man. They trying to keep they want to house our data. They don't want China to get all that. I
They
don't
already
know.
got it. They got it 10 times
Hey,
over.
hey, that's I'm just
They
telling y'all
been
what they
had
telling the
it.
people. That's what they tell. That's true though.
I went to the Google Leadership Symposium though, and I had used this tool before, but not to the capacity that I do now after
Mm,
that leadership summit. Notebook LM is very good
mm,
for note taking and being able to like pull large amounts of resources and getting it to summarize it for you. Because I know like at least for like research or for classes. I know for my new internship that I started, it's in the lighting industry. Signify. I know nothing about lighting, but luckily they have literally like their homepage is set up where they post documents and stuff about what's going on in the industry. Copied every single one of those links into it, and it can pull from there. So if I ask it questions, like what is X, Y, and Z terminology that I don't understand, it will pull from those sites and like actually like spit back out something and be like it'll cite it for you too. So I love Notebook LM right now. That's all I can say.
I'm gonna check that out.
Do
yeah, for
it,
sure.
do it. Yeah, it's great. Super, super good resource. And yeah, so I think that should be good for us this week. Do y'all have any closing notes or inspiration y'all might be willing to give to some of our younger people trying to break into the tech industry?
Show up and show out in a good way, a nerdy way, the Black and Technology way.
The bit
Be
way.
part of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, follow us. Be a part of our newsletter. Follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and be sure just to show up to whatever we host.
Yeah, man. Just definitely the echo what Brandon said, show up. Don't be afraid. Or you could be afraid, but don't try your best not to show it at least. Um, just change the perspective. Like that's all excitement. It's not you being afraid. So just try to show up. Even if you don't feel like going, had a discipline to show up. You're gonna meet some good people, meet some great people. You never know. You see me, I do photography and I came to one event and that kind of just helped propel me to, what I'm doing right now. So definitely just show up, be disciplined, and keep doing your thing, man. If you watching this, you already doing your thing. So like just keep doing that.
Yeah, if you're watching this right now, you are our community, so come on.
Yeah.
For sure. And I know for me, I'm gonna say take that opportunity. My first internship was with Georgia Technology Authority as a digital equity intern. Nobody knows what that is, but when I talk about it intelligently inside of interviews, it's always impressive with the amount of stuff that I was able to do through that internship. So a lot of stuff surface level may not seem impressive to you. Everybody wants to work at Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and have that as their starting job, but a lot of stuff is hidden. So take the opportunity that you get and take full advantage of it. And I guarantee it'll lead you somewhere beautiful. Eric
Right.
earlier talked about how, out of coincidence, he was able to, join the e-board for Black in Tech as a photographer. And that was just coming to an event and by chance he was able to do that. I was much the same way. I met Maloney, our president, at an event as a digital equity intern. I had absolutely no idea what Black in Tech was, but I walked up to her at the event and I said, "Hey, like I want to be able to help. How do I help?" And a year later, I'm doing amazing work with Black in Tech now. So take that opportunity, no matter what you think on the surface level. You never know where it could take you. And one more thing before we head out, what's y'all's favorite food that y'all have had recently in Atlanta?
So many of them.
I'm gonna say the Bando. Go to the Bando for wings.
I
They had
haven't
a
been to
they
the
had a
bando yet.
one
I need
dollar
to watch
one
that.
dollar six piece with fries today. It was crazy.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
One
yeah.
dollar
Go
six
go
piece
check
with
it out.
fries.
I
Go check
haven't
it
been
out.
to the bando.
It was
Okay.
a 99-cent six-piece combo. It was crazy.
And the wings were straight. Nice size.
Man, oh yeah, yeah. And they got the
99
good
cents.
flavors in there. They got
Yeah.
listen. I get the strawberry hot. It's crazy. Tell me,
Strawberry. I've seen
strawberry
that.
hot.
Okay. Mhm.
Strawberry hot
Right. So I
with
probably
or
did.
or
Oh.
or the honey jerk. That's tough too.
Mm, mm. Man, I don't even know for I would say at one point my a good place I was going to was I think it was called like Mickey's Retro Grill. This is like a while back though. I don't even know if they're still around. But
Okay,
they
okay.
had some good salmon cheese steaks and the fries was good and everything like that. And it was in the area you could just like eat outside and stuff like that. But yeah, I
Oh,
can't even
good.
think right now. Like my brain, it is a lot. It's a lot to choose from.
This is
My
good. That's
favorite
all I get.
restaurant in the ATL is besides Mary Mac's. Don't ask me any questions about Mary Mac's, but the Consulate. If you don't know what the Consulate is, check it out. Rotating menu every 60 days. Right now, I think it's Tibet is the menu. Phenomenal.
Wow. Okay. I'll definitely go and check it out. Is it in my tax
Oh,
bracket? Can I afford that yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
they
I'm just
This is
said
making
Scrum
sure. I'm
Master.
just
You
making
definitely
sure.
can. This is
that
Scrum
that's
Master. You definitely
that's
can.
the one that they changed. You said they changed their menu to like every couple of days,
Every
right? To
60
the
days.
oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I ain't been there yet. I heard about that.
I gotta go check it out. I'm excited.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank everybody for joining us for this episode of Just a Bit. This was a little different than what we usually do, but I really enjoyed this conversation and I'm looking forward to having more episodes like this. And thank you to Eric and Brandon for joining me for this episode.
Sure. Thanks for
Hey,
having
I'm
us.
open to coming back anytime. Let me know.
For sure, for sure. We'll definitely have you back on pretty soon, man. And yeah, until next time,
Everybody be safe.
be safe.